This is Unmasked.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Heck yeah. Oh man. How you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been good. Sorry it's been such a crazy time to try to get this scheduled.
Right.
Seems like we both have very busy schedules, but hey, we're here now, and
Yes.
let's do this. Heck yeah. So I know that this is kind of a round two, but that's okay because we have a bunch of other stuff to kind of get into and stuff. I'm gonna put you on the
Yes.
spot a little bit first, though.
Okay.
I'm gonna try something new, and I'll see how well you can do. So first, I want to hear what your best like dad joke or best just, like joke in general, or either joke, quote, or random fact off the top of your head that you can think of.
I have a good quote.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's never let anyone steal your joy. And I have a good quote because it's tattooed on my body. So I
Oh
always think
yeah?
of, yes,
Okay. Is that
it's
something you?
right there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Where did that come from?
So through growing up, like throughout athletics and stuff, like girls experience mean girls and stuff in high school. And I had a lot of like girls that I always let hurt my feelings in sports that I was in.
Hmm.
And I had many different coaches in all different parts of my life always say like stop letting people steal your joy, or like don't let these girls steal the joy that you have for your sport, things like that. And it was just weird because like all throughout my life I've had different coaches and stuff, and they've all ended up like saying that exact phrase to me. So I just resonates with me very well. And it's true. Like never let anyone steal your joy.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. There was that reminds me of I can't remember exactly how it goes, so I'm gonna say it in the way that I remember. But
Hmm.
it's like you have like 5,000 something seconds in the day, or it's like as if you had that money. If someone were to take $10 of you and you were given like 5,000 whatever dollars, however many seconds are in a day, that much in money,
True.
then would you let that take the rest of the money from you, or would you just be like, all right, cool, they take $10, I'm gonna just use the rest of it, and then kind of
Right.
using that as like, well, if there's like 5 seconds that happen in your day and it feels like the time, worst thing possible, are you gonna let
Hmm.
that affect the rest of the day, or are you just like, you know what, screw it, it happened, cool, moving on?
True.
So, and because I feel like too many people, like I've had the worst day ever, and it's like, did you really, or did you have like a bad hour, or did you
Yeah.
have like a bad like 10 minutes to where like now it's kind of getting you down, and I don't know, I like that a lot, kind of making it to where you, the one thing that everybody is control of or in control of is their own emotion,
Hmm.
and I think that a lot of people don't really fully get that. It's like
Hmm.
things can externally happen to you, but you are truly in control of your own emotions and how you
In
kind
your
of
reaction. Yep.
exactly. Yeah. So that's awesome. I'm glad to see you kind of have that going on. So you're a cheerleader, which
Yes.
cheer is something I have not covered. I haven't really. I've covered a little bit of professional sports. I had an MLB player on, and we talked about his kind of stuff going into the MLB, but cheer is definitely one of those type of sports that I don't think a lot of people really know about. I don't think a lot of people
Hmm.
truly know about what goes into cheer, what goes into that kind of thing, or even like how to take that into an actual full blown career other than like cheering for a professional team, which I know that you
Yeah.
do, or doing competition, which I know there's plenty of movies and stuff, and there's TV
Hmm.
shows. I know that you said that you were on a TV show. I know it was Cheer, right?
Yeah, just cheer on
Just Cheer.
Netflix.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. And you said you were on season two?
Yeah, I was like a in a little smidget part of it because I was a signee for the team that season two is about. And then they canceled it like the year I got there. And it
Mhm.
was just due to a lot of like drama and people getting sued and things like that. It was actually like a really big TV show. A lot of my friends were on like the Ellen show and things like that and got to meet Oprah. So it would have been really big had it have kept going.
Do you wish it would have kept going?
I do, because I think that like the stuff that we do deserves to get the spotlight that like some of my friends did. And just due to all of the negative side effects that came from certain people on the show, it kind of made everyone look bad in the world of cheer. And I feel like there's a lot of really good people with good messages and good things that they stand for that deserve to be like recognized. And like a lot of people kind of like you said don't know what all we put into getting to where we're at. And I think
Right.
that like that deserves to be shown to everyone. And they got a little smidgen of it, like in season one when it blew up, like it was recognized a little bit. But I mean, there's only so much they can even show on like a season of a Netflix show. That they're still missing a lot of important like details and stuff there, you know.
Right. I also so I remember I know that there's like those movies was like Never Back Down or something, or
And Bring It On
yeah,
and
Bring It
things like
On.
that.
And one of the biggest things with that was like stealing routines and stuff. So I feel
Yeah.
like kind of having a Netflix show getting into the behind the scenes of each cheer thing, like as seasons go on, I feel like there would be a
Hmm.
lot of controversy with like, well, they did a lot of behind the scenes of this specific routine, so I feel like there would be a
Yeah.
lot of fear of stealing routines and stuff.
Hmm.
Do you think that
No,
could have
yeah, it
happened?
happens in real life too. Yeah, like they're very serious, even like at Weber. That's the college team I cheer for right now. Like, we're not allowed to post anything that we're planning on competing, like, no
Mhm.
skills at all, like, nothing that can give our opponents like any type of hint as to where we're planning on going with our routine. So, like, there'll be certain stuff we do at practice. We have a professional photographer and videographer now, Nick Prack. So he always gives us good film and stuff. But before we like post anything, they're like, you can post these videos, you cannot post this. So yeah, it's like very serious.
Yeah, because I see on your stuff you've mostly posted like individual tricks that you might be working on
Hmm.
or just individual training, but I've never seen like full on routines unless it's like something that has already been put out there, like
Yep,
in the competition. So
exactly.
I found that it was interesting because like a lot of times those Hollywood movies, they're not really supposed to depict the real thing, but it seems like those Hollywood movies uh, that depict cheer do kind of have a realistic sense to it.
In some ways, I would say like I know some of the people that were in Bring It On because they actually did have like real life cheerleaders do like the background tricks and be like the stunt doubles for
Oh,
the
nice.
actors and stuff in it. So yeah, like my boyfriend, his coach Netta, she was one of the stunt doubles in it and was actually like kind of a background character, a part of the cheer team in the first movie. And they showcase like some of like real life stuff, but they make most of it kind of like drama filled and
Yeah,
reality, to entice the general population because only people that are actually in cheer like know what like the real stuff, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
care about the real stuff.
So
Yeah.
like on a scale of like 1 to 10, how realistic? If I was somebody who knew nothing about cheer, who was like
Hmm.
I saw cheerleaders at football games growing up or something,
Yeah.
how realistic would you say it is in those movies with cheer? On
Hmm.
like one being like it is like created by Disney, it's not like realistic
Hmm.
whatsoever. 10 being like no, that's like it should be a documentary type of thing.
Yeah. I would say the Netflix show Cheer, that was technically considered a documentary, and I still think that they didn't portray things as best as they could because they had to have like an underdog and a good guy, bad guy, just to
Yeah.
keep the plot of the show interesting. So I'd give it about an 8. Like they were still missing a lot of the dynamic of the true coaching relationships and like kind of how I was telling you last time they made Trinity Valley out to be kind of the bad guy and I didn't really
Mhm.
like that a lot because in our eyes, of course, like we're not the underdogs. We're the ones that are putting in double the work. They got the spotlight first, so they didn't even have to recruit. And then Trinity Valley had to go above and beyond finding athletes from all over the place, which is where they found me. And they were able to build a team that was like just as good, if not better than Navarro the years that I was there. So I would give that an 8. And then Bring It On. I think like for its time, like it came out several years ago. I think for its time, it was really good. I mean, cheer has progressed like drastically in the last 10 years, even since before that show came out. So I think for its time, it was a pretty good depiction, but now a lot of things have changed. And I mean, we're recognized as an official Olympic sport now that'll be in
Mm.
2032 Olympics. So, just at that time, cheer wasn't even really considered a sport. Like we were just supporting a sport, and
Right.
now it's like we're our own competition. We compete, we practice and train, if not more than like sports like football and stuff do. And um that's kind of one of the reasons though why I wish we did get more recognition is because we're not NCAA. Like NCAA, they put restrictions on the amount of times that like football and basketball and baseball can practice a week. We don't have any restrictions. So we are literally in the gym 6 to 8 hours every single day. Like we
Really?
are, yes, like we are elite athletes. There's no breaks for us. Like this break that I have right now, because we're on Christmas break, I've been off for 3 days in a row now, and this is the longest I've like not flipped my body since May, probably.
Does it feel weird?
Yeah, it does, and I'm hurting really bad.
Yeah, because it's like the
Just because my
muscles are
body's not
used to.
used, yeah, it's not used to being tight and like just not doing anything.
That doesn't really seem like, I don't know, when I hear other things with professional athletes or people
Mhm.
that do a lot of training, you need that rest. You need that
Yeah.
rest time to be able, like, because your body, it is a machine, but it's not
Hmm.
just like a machine that can go 24/7. So like having you guys train 8 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, it also just seems like almost unhealthy in a way.
Yeah, I would say it's necessary though, because I think with sports like gymnastics and cheer, when you have that time off, you feel it and your body loses the muscle memory because it's so like specific in the way that we have to make our body do things. You have to have that repetition every day for your body to be able to go out there and perform it just like you do in practice. Because if you do take those days off, it's almost like you have to relearn what you're doing. It's not like baseball, like where there's techniques to throwing baseball and catching and hitting the bat at a certain angle, things like that.
Yeah.
Like your body, yes, it needs repetition, but it doesn't necessarily forget how to do that. But with cheer, like if you're doing a one arm skill landing upside down in a handstand on another dude, like you have to rep that out like 50 times
Yeah.
every. Yeah,
That sounds absolutely terrifying doing
it
so.
is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy for sure.
Do you come from, because your background is not cheer. I know that
No,
last time we were talking a little bit, you were mentioning that you do not come from a cheer background at all. You've actually only been in cheer for what, a couple years now?
2 years. Yeah, I'm going on my third year.
And first of all, it's insane of how you've only been in it for 2 or 3 years and you've gotten so far in your career. So
Thank
huge,
you.
huge hats off to you for that. That's absolutely insane. But so you
Thank
grew up
you.
in doing gymnastics and stuff, right? You were a gymnast coming
Yes.
up.
Hmm.
What was the turning point from going from gymnastics to cheer?
So basically, in gymnastics, I faced a lot of detrimental injuries. Like I was getting hurt a lot. The hours in gymnastics are just as intense as they are in cheer, except like you have apparatuses. And in
Mm.
cheer, I feel like I'm safer, quote unquote, because I have someone to catch me.
Okay.
Hopefully they catch me. Gymnastics, I mean, there's a mat and like hopefully you land. If not, you're gonna break your neck. It's like in my opinion, it's a little bit more dangerous because there's not like a safety net. So
Yeah.
I was getting hurt all the time at the level that I was at in gymnastics. And I mean, each injury was taking me out 3 months, 4 months. I was getting surgeries. And then it would take me just as long to get back into the level that I left at, kind of like I was saying, when you take time off in gymnastics and cheer, like you really have to relearn everything. And that's kind of where I was. And I was losing muscle mass, things like that. So I plateaued kind of level 9, level 10. And in gymnastics, if you're not on like the US national team by the time you're 15, you're really not going to go to the Olympics or anything like that. So I continued on with club. I was really successful still, but I knew I wanted to be like a part of something bigger than myself. And I really wanted to represent my country one day. And I was at a gymnastics meet in Dallas, Texas, my junior year of high school. And I was at a clinic up there just for fun for cheerleading. And I mean, I had no plans of ever doing cheer. We kind of looked down on cheerleaders. We were like, why would we ever do that? Like,
Yeah.
it was like the lesser of the two. And I, of course, didn't really know anything about cheer either. Like, I had never been exposed to this level. The town I came from, there was no like high level cheer athletes there. So I went to the clinic and I was recruited by Monica Navarro in Franklin at Trinity Valley. And this was also pre Netflix. So I didn't even know who they were, and they invited me to go to their gyms and practice at the colleges. And I was looking for what college I wanted to go to anyways. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to go the gymnastics route or the cheer route. So flash forward to my senior year of high school, I went to visit both places and I was like, oh my gosh, wow, this is hardcore and this looks fun. And this is going to be something that will like challenge me because it's brand new. So I ended up signing to the Valley and they offered me a full ride there. So I was like, they're paying for my college anyways. I might as well try it out. And I fell in love with cheer. Like it became
Yeah.
my obsession. And I realized that I was picking things up like really, really fast compared to like most people. And it was also like really hard though for me as well. Kind of like how I was saying, I overcame a lot of injuries. I had a lot of adversity in cheer because everyone that were my competitors on my team, to make Matt, they had been an all-star cheer or cheered at high levels their entire life. And I came from
Right.
like only gymnastics background. So gymnastics helped me in a lot of ways, I think, with my body control and body awareness. It helped me like pick things up really quickly. And I didn't have like a fear factor that most people do because of gymnastics and how dangerous it was. So whenever they were having me try stuff in cheer, I was just like, sure, I don't care. And because I always knew there was someone there to catch me this time. So I'm like, I know that I'll be okay,
Yeah.
hopefully, like, you know what I mean? So, and I just was doing stuff. And I mean, there are a lot of people that get really seriously hurt in cheer, like when they don't get caught. But luckily, knock on wood, I haven't experienced that yet. So that's kind of how I transitioned into it, was just that random clinic I went to for a joke in high school. And then they found me. And now, like, it's opened up so many doors of opportunity for me. So it's been awesome.
What kind of opportunities has it opened up for you?
So for example, I've never tried out for a single team I've been on. They all saw me because of my huge growth in social media with partner stunning. So I've signed to my D1 college that I'm at now and got a pretty good scholarship there. And then I signed to Trinity Valley. And then it got me a lot of exposure due to like the aftermath of Netflix. And then I got to travel like so many different countries coaching cheer completely for free, and I would get paid doing it too. So it was awesome. I got to go to Paris this last summer and coach Team France while I was up there, and like it was an all expenses paid trip. Plus, I got to make some money like doing individual private lessons. So
Okay.
like it's just opportunities like that that I would have never probably even left America if I hadn't been in cheer. And then I'm on the US national team now, so I get to represent Team
Congratulations.
USA. Thank you. Yeah, I think last time we talked I had just tried out for it and I didn't know if I
Oh,
made
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm officially on the team there. And
Woo!
that's the only team I've tried out for, which I made luckily. And it's just amazing. Like I really get to represent my country in a sport that I've been doing for only 2 years. And
Yeah.
it's just amazing. And we get to travel internationally for that too after May. We have our first competition, which is Worlds in May. Or no, it's at the end of April. And then we have like the Pan American Championship, which I think is in Chile. And then we have a couple more in like just random places all over. Like I don't even know for sure the locations yet, but I know one is for sure in Chile and one's in Florida. So I'm really excited.
That sounds super fun.
Thank
Um,
you.
with only have been in cheer for like 2 years,
Hmm.
I feel like there would be a lot of possibly adversity or jealousy or something, either from teammates
Hmm.
or even from like when you say that you're going to these other places to coach and stuff. Like
Hmm.
I know I've heard of it in like other sports where it's like you just have some prodigy person coming in to like coach and
Hmm.
it's like, well, what do you know about this? You've only been doing it for a couple
Right.
of years, or I don't know, have you faced that kind of adversity with like people saying like you've only been in it for 2 years, what gives you the right to coach or what gives you the right to do this?
I think with gymnastics, I face that a lot. And but gymnastics like taught me how to be a sponge, like where I'm just constantly looking to intake information and absorb everything. And I think since I've been in cheer for only so little, everyone has seen me start from literally the very bottom and get to where I'm at now. It hasn't been some situation where I just walked in with and was the best. Like they've
Yeah.
all seen the growth and they've all seen how much work I put into getting where I'm at right now. So I don't think I've put anyone in a position to where they could come at me like that, because they know that I am like someone that is very dedicated and determined to get anything that I put my mind to. And I think I also try to go into every situation with like talking to people, not talking down to them. Like I feel like I've had a lot of people talk down to me, and I don't
Mhm.
want to come across like that to other people. So I always try to just like speak to people like because we are on the same level, and I just want to help you get to like where I got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want them to be a sponge and I want them to be coachable so that way they can intake all the information that I learned from other people too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. No, that
Yep.
definitely makes sense because I mean, as long as you, I feel like as long as you can see why they deserve it, then there's less
Yes.
adversity. So it's like when you look at someone like you that has had a lot of training and that's willing to put
Hmm.
in the work, willing to put in the hours,
Right.
and it's like, okay, she might not have been in it for a long time,
Hmm.
but I mean, like it's kind of like one of those things where one thing can prepare you for another. It's why like football players have done dance and stuff to be able to improve their
Yes.
agility. So like in your instance, you did gymnastics, which can easily
Yes.
be transferred like those skills into cheer and stuff with all the different tricks and stuff that
Exactly.
you do. So I feel like
Yeah.
that probably does help out a little bit. Um, that's
And I
that's
think
awesome.
it's that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. Go for it.
I could say I think it's the outside hours too that I put into it too, that like some people don't see what I do in the gym, but they know that I'm there. So like while they're being social, choosing different priorities, like I'm in the gym still doing extra work. So it's like even though they've been in cheer probably 10 years longer than me, we realistically probably gotten the same hours in the gym just because I'm
Yeah.
in there so much more. You know what I mean?
And you're in college now too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you're still balancing like full-time school along with full-time cheer, right?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm a biomedical engineering major, so it's very,
Oh,
very
okay.
difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult to do both, especially with this semester. I'm going to be missing pretty much all of April and all of May because we'll be training for the USA Championship and then Daytona College Nationals and then just NBA games that I cheer at for Utah Jazz. I miss a lot of school, but I'm still really diligent about prioritizing my grades as much as I can. I did have my first B though in chemistry last semester,
Oh
but
no.
I was like really upset about it. But my mom was like, with your schedule, like you need to just take it and move on and go to Chem
Yeah.
2 now. Like just whatever, don't stress about it. Cause I used to redo classes. Like if I got a B in it, I would redo it because I didn't want my GPA to hurt. But she was like, the people that are in the classes that you take, Hailey, do not do sports, let alone or they don't do like Olympic level sports either. Like you
Yeah.
need to realize that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with it and just keep going.
With everything that you're telling me, there has to be some sort of like the level of discipline that you seem to be able to possess is
Mhm.
astonishing, especially for someone of your age. Where did that discipline do you think come from for you?
Gymnastics, just being an elite gymnast since I was 2. Like I was learned to focus really hard on certain details. I didn't really grow up with a childhood that I was like got to just do whatever I want. Like I was in practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day from 2 years old all the way to 18. And it wasn't like I was forced to, it was by choice. Like I loved
Oh,
it.
okay.
And yeah, and it taught me just how to make things goals and it taught me how to plan for those goals and work towards them. And I learned how it feels to win and I learned how it feels to lose. And it's like you don't want to feel that way again. So you plan better next time and you just keep going. And I do I do think sometimes though, like I need to absorb the wins more and like be happy for the wins more because I feel like I'm so like goal oriented all the time
Mhm.
and kind of like you said, I have a lot of discipline. So like I just got back from Mexico last week and I won an American championship up there for partner stunt with my partner Colin. And like it was awesome to win it, but like all I could think about was like, okay, I have
The next thing.
UCA in January. Like it's on to the next thing. Yeah. And I do think sometimes like everyone needs to be better at just taking in the wins and like telling yourself that you did good at something, like you worked
Yeah.
hard and the results paid off.
I have honestly the same kind of detriment to myself as well. I have
Mhm.
such a hard time with appreciating myself for the
Mhm.
stuff I do. Like I have a very busy schedule and stuff, but then I will go back a lot of times and be like, well, I could be doing this though, or like
Right.
there's someone out there that's possibly outworking me, so that's not okay. I need to outwork them. And so I
Hmm.
think it's good to have that discipline, but also finding that kind of balance between being able to accept those wins and enjoying the journey rather than just chasing the trophies, which enjoying the journey, like
Right.
that's a big thing that I'm trying to work on.
Yes, that's something that also we kind of talk about as like a curse in cheer is like if we get rings every time we win. So like if you chase the ring, you're gonna lose. You have to chase the family aspect. You have to chase the
Right.
program, the benefits that you're gonna get from going through like the whole journey of being there. Because unfortunately with college, there's only one team competition every year, and it's just Daytona College Nationals. So you work your butt off all year long, and either you win or lose at that competition, and that can't be everything. Because if
Yeah.
winning is everything, then it's like you will never leave happy ever.
Yeah, exactly. And especially with those types of sports or those types of things that have that like physical trophy or that championship, it's like you're
Hmm.
working the entire time to get up there, but then the second you get it, I've noticed that for people that can achieve that level, they're happy for like the first day, maybe celebrating
Yeah,
that night, but then right afterward, they're back down to like, okay, what now?
yeah. It's like
It's like,
what's
what now?
next? On
Yeah,
to the
like,
next.
and it's like because they're chasing that specific trophy or that ring or that prize or that championship, they're never going to be satisfied because they're like, okay, well, what's the bigger one? What's the next one? What's the next one? They're never like
Hmm.
presently in that moment of like,
Yep.
well, I have these amazing people around me. I have this awesome team. I feel like you have to really kind of mentally discipline yourself to be like, you know what, chill for a second. Like,
Hmm.
let's embrace this. We're here. Like, even if we don't win this championship, we're here, you
I
know?
do think I think that mindset though is the difference though between being like an untouchable athlete and a good athlete. Because
Yeah,
the athletes that are untouchable, like they never sit back and are like, okay, I'm prepared. It's always like I'm not doing enough because they're doing more than me. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? When you're a winner, you're always comparing yourself and not to other people, but to their work ethic. Like, how can I be doing harder? Like, how can I be training harder? How can I be preparing more? Like they never are complacent. And I think a lot of times, sometimes people are too much in the present and they get complacent. And then that's where accidents happen. And I've been there too myself. Like I was like, oh, I'm fine. Go out
yeah.
there and drop a routine I've done 50 times. You know what I mean? It's just you really got to put your mind and your body through all of the needs and requirements to where you go out there and you don't feel like any type of nerves or anything. It feels just like practice.
You still get nerves and stuff when you go to compete?
I would say it's a lot less intense now, because gymnastics, I mean, competing for me then, I was by myself on a little 4-inch wide beam, like trying not to fall
Yeah,
off. And now in cheer, like I have someone out there with me at all times. So it's a little bit different type of nerves. It's more like I don't want to mess up because I let them down. In
right.
gymnastics, it's like if you mess up, you're mad at yourself. You're like, oh, why did I do that? But it doesn't affect anybody else. It's just like a personal feeling with cheer, like if you mess up, you just lost Daytona for your entire team.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like one of those feelings. And now I'm on an even bigger scale. I don't know how I'm gonna feel at USA this year because like I'm sure when I walk out there, it's not gonna be I'm letting my team down. It's like I'm letting my country down. It's a different type of intensity.
Do you feel like that has its own mental toll on you too?
I would say it does. Like we had a whole meeting when we made the team and just Leroy, who's our head coach, he was just going over like that this is bigger than all of us and that the reason we were selected isn't only because of skills, it's like our mental stability too. And they've been watching and evaluate how we do under pressure because there really is like a different type of expectation put on you as like a athlete representing like the United States of America and not just Trinity Valley or Weber
Right.
State. Yeah, or Utah or Texas. It's like you are representing a country. So I think it's definitely going to be a lot more stressful once I start preparing more for that. But for right now, I really try to just focus my eye on one prize at a time, because I've noticed in the past I get overwhelmed very easily and get very stressed out very easily. So I try to really just go week by week. Like, what do I need to work on this week? And then I make sure I execute every part of that plan. And that's how I think I keep myself relaxed and calm and not stressed. And right now, like partner stunt UCA, which is in January, that's like my goal right now. And everything leading up until then is going to be based on just that goal. And then once that's out the way, then we'll focus on Daytona. And then once that's out the way, we'll focus on USA. So I try to just take it one step at a time.
I'm really curious on how balance in your life looks like a little bit between
Mhm.
like being able to keep your sanity with all that, because I know
Mhm.
that with a lot of athletes, physically you guys are in top shape, but mentally that could definitely, I've seen a lot of stuff with
Mhm.
that, um, with having the mental stuff, especially like when coaches put too much pressure on you, putting pressure on yourself. Like I've seen a lot of mental detriment and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there like, do you feel like there's a lot of good kind of balance in your life with all of that?
I think I've learned a lot throughout the years on how to balance it. And when you said pressure, that reminded me of something I tell myself a lot. Like, pressure is a privilege. It's not something that everyone gets to go through. It's a privilege to have this pressure. And I always tell myself that too when I'm going out there competing. And I think that's actually something I learned last year, is like mindfulness while you're competing. Because a lot of people tend to go out and just get on autopilot. They're not
Yeah.
really taking in the moment. And last year, I knew it was going to be my last time representing Trinity Valley. And that's like the most watched team at Daytona College Nationals. We have literal like security pulling people off the stage when we go out there. And even though I think the team I'm on now, like Weber, is quote unquote like better skill wise, because it's a combination of Navarro and Trinity Valley athletes, it still like didn't get the publicity though that Navarro and the Valley did because of Netflix. So I knew like me being out there would be my last time being on that big of a stage. So I really
Mhm.
just looked around before the music started and was like, okay, this isn't that bad. I was like, these are just people watching me and they all want me to do good. Like,
Right.
they wouldn't be out here watching if they didn't want like us to hit and do well. So I really try to look around and take in that like this is just normal people just like me, and like my brain is making this a bigger deal than it is. Like, it's just cheer. I'm like, it's just one performance that they're all watching and supporting us in. And I think NBA, doing games for the NBA, has helped me a lot with that too, because we do really hard performances. Like, we
Yeah.
throw harder skills at the NBA games than we would at Daytona, just because like if we mess up at NBA, like nothing happens. It's just like, okay, like no one even knows what they're watching. They're there for
Right.
basketball. So we throw really hard stuff at NBA, but at NBA games, there's like 20,000 people there. And at
Right.
Daytona, there's like maybe 2,000, maybe 3,000. So I think me taking in like that large of an audience is making these competitions that mean more to me less intense mentally. And I don't feel like as nervous because I'm like, oh, I've done this before. Like, I got this. I've done this hundreds of times. And then in regards to like planning and how you were talking about not getting like mentally overworked and stuff,
Hmm.
I'll bring us back to this past month of November and December, because we were preparing for finals. I was preparing for qualifying for UCA partner stunt. I was preparing for my competition in Mexico for Team USA. And then just practice for Weber because we have choreography coming up for our team competition. So I had a lot of stuff on my plate the last 2 months, and I would really just plan out every day and literally create like a planner on my fridge. And I'm very ADHD, so I'm someone that really like has to keep things like hour by hour and
Yeah.
like mark it off as I get through it to feel like I'm being like productive each day. So I would wake up every day at 8 a.m. and go to class. And then right after I got out of class at 10:20, I would go and stunt for like an hour and a half and work on just UCA partner stunt stuff. And I would throw out a number like, I want to hit 3 routines to feel like me and Josh were productive today. So we would hit our 3 routines. We would go get a quick lunch, which was like 30 minutes, and then we would go to team practice, which is from 12:30 to 3:30. And then during that team practice, I just try to be like present at all times, because I can't really create goals for myself because I don't know what we're doing each day. It's up to the coaches. I
Hmm.
just try to make sure that whatever they throw at us, I'm the first one to get it done and I'm the first one to hit it X amount of times. Like, I always I always try to have like all eyes on me, but in a good way, because in
Right.
cheer, there's 50 people out there and you have to find a way to stand out amongst that crowd when everyone is just as talented as you are. So I'm always trying to be the first to get everything done. And then once I'm done with that, I go to work. I work from 3:30 to 5:30 and I coach teams. And luckily, the gym I coach at, they let me practice in there for free. So after I'm done with work at 5:30, I have like a quick snack. I normally bring something with me, and then I would have Colin come in and we would work on our routine in Mexico and rep that out like 5 times. And we would get done around 8. And then after that, I would go home, get a quick dinner, come back at 9:30. And then we would all stay in practice till like 1 a.m. and rep out more UCA partner stuff.
Dang. Okay. So you got like a full schedule because you're also working at the gym and
The
stuff
gym,
too.
yeah, just it's like quick money. It's not like amazing pay. It's not a career, but it,
Yeah.
it pays the bills and it's good spending money if I want to go eat out every once in a while or spend
Yeah.
Christmas gifts on my family and things like that. And that schedule I just told you is like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. Tuesdays and Thursdays are a little bit different because I use Tuesdays and Thursdays as a time to try to do homework and I'll take out like one practice. Like I won't practice partner stunt twice a day. I'll just do it once and it'll be like that morning. So that way I have like from 5:30 on to myself to do homework and things like that.
Dang. Well, I mean, I it sounds like a lot, but at the same time, there's a lot of structure there too. That it
A lot of
seems like
structure.
there's a lot of like you're not just sitting around not doing anything type of stuff. It's a lot
Never.
of like because that's how I am. I'm a momentum driven person. I like to
Hmm.
keep the momentum going because keeping that going will keep me going.
Yep.
So instead, like I used to try to plan to the hour my days as well with doing that
Hmm.
because it was for me like whenever someone else would see it, they're like, "Oh my God, this is too chaotic. Like, are you okay?" Type of stuff. I'm like, actually,
Yeah.
this is how I keep saying with everything. Being
Yes.
able to schedule everything the way it needs to be. So as long, I mean, and everyone's different. Some people they need to like, okay, I can crack all this out in one day type of stuff. Other people, it just kind of finds something that's right for you, and it seems like this kind of works the best way for you. So
Hmm.
that's awesome. But I mean, as long as you're able to balance the health, like your body is a vehicle. And so you like not only physically, which I'm sure that you're very much on top of that, but like mentally and emotionally too, because that's where I do see the biggest lack in professional athletes is
Yes.
making sure that the mental and emotional things are also taken care of as well as the physical. Because if your emotional state is off, it will hinder your physical performance as well.
That's definitely true. And I think also too, sometimes I don't think people realize how powerful the mind is.
Hmm.
And when you're like constantly thinking and feeding yourself negative thoughts and energy, like your body will give that back to you through physical injuries. You know what I mean? So you just have
Absolutely.
to make sure you're really taking care of your mind and sleeping and stuff, which I don't sleep enough. I need to be sleeping more. And I can feel that throughout the day because I don't think I've had a day where I'm not groggy in years. Like I don't remember the last
Really?
time where I woke up and was like, oh wow, I'm full of energy right now. Like I've always been really tired throughout the day, drinking caffeine all day and things like that. It's not necessarily the best for you, but it's what keeps me going. And
Yeah.
I just try to make sure that I'm always eating healthy to give some type of nutrients to my body because I know I'm definitely expending more calories than I'm taking in, every day. So it's really just about making sure that you're being kind to your body because if you expect your coaches to care about your injuries and stuff, then you have to care about your body.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. Well, we're running out of time here,
mhm.
and I really appreciate you coming on here, especially with how crazy your schedule is and how crazy
Yes.
everything is. Huge congratulations on making the USA team. That's a
Thank
huge
you.
accomplishment. I can't wait to see where all that goes. We'll have to do another part two or something later on when,
Yes.
right before nationals or something, or later on when you've when there's more stuff going on too. So thank
Yes.
you again for making the time to come on here and kind of open the window to this realm that I feel like a lot of people don't really know a whole lot about, which is one of the reasons
Hmm.
why I want to talk to you because I'm like, I don't know anything about cheer. Nobody that I know knows about cheer.
Yeah.
So it's just a whole new type of organization stuff. But yet,
Thank you for having me.
yes, of course. But yeah, is there anything else while we're in our last like little 60 seconds here that you want to make sure that gets said to everyone?
Um, I would say make sure that if you have a dream or a goal you want to accomplish, you have a plan to execute that dream or goal. Because I feel like that's where a lot of people feel like they can't fulfill their dreams is they don't know what steps to take in order to execute that. And just know that literally anything you put your mind to is possible. And like when I first started here, I never thought I would be representing my country like 2 years later. And it's just know that pressure is a privilege and that you deserve to be where you're at because God would not have given the opportunity to you if you hadn't worked for it.
That's awesome. I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, thank you so much, Haley, and good luck with everything, okay?
Thank you so much.
Of course. Have a good day.
You too.